Obviously, Bob, former GM of the Warriors, and we're going to bring in Markieff Morris, who's currently on the Lakers roster, and I want to focus in on California here. Do the Lakers or Warriors need to make a bigger splash, Keith?
I would say the Warriors, right? And I wouldn't really call it a bigger splash. They just need to figure out what they're going to do with Kuminga, right? Are they going to keep growing him and make him an integral part of this team, or are they going to keep playing the up and down, you're not ready, you don't fit game? I think that's the main focus with the Warriors. Like, you have to re-sign them and go get some assets to be able to fit around these guys, or you just have to just let them go and teach them more how to play with these guys. I mean, obviously, it seems like it doesn't work at times, so I think that's the big thing. Obviously, everybody know the Lakers need a big, and that's the most important thing for them. They don't need to move too many core pieces around because about a month ago, people were picking the Lakers to win the championship, so I don't think they should – just erase that part of the team. Just bring in the big, and it's obviously the Warriors with Kuminga. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think it's easier for the Warriors. I like what Markieff said because they have Kuminga in their control, right? So you can either keep him, and they have the ability to do that, or sign and trade him and decide if they get something back. So they have an easier ability. If it's about Kuminga, because he's probably the easiest piece to elevate the Warriors, because Butler, we know what he's going to do, and Draymond and Curry, obviously, and Podziemski, they've got all these guys around him. I think the team is well built, but Kuminga is kind of that X factor. He's been talked about for, you've talked about Stephen A. quite a bit of what he can be, but if he's not going to be, then what can you get for him? The Lakers is, I think, tougher fix. It's easy. We can sit here and we can all say, Lakers need a big. Okay. As a GM, you go, okay, yeah. Okay, now what? Right? They had the idea of trading for Mark Williams, and they offered up quite a bit, and they decided that wasn't a good idea, and the medicals didn't look right. But I can't sit here and say it's easy to go get a big right now that can actually impact winning, that Luka Doncic wants to run the pick and roll with, and LeBron James, that they can play at the 5. The Lakers team wore down because Jack said, they stopped playing a 5. And LeBron at the 5 can work. It's like Draymond. These guys, it wears you out. LeBron's a fantastic player, but him at the 5 is very tiresome. Mm-hmm. So how are they going to go get a 5 that actually impacts them for a team that has championship aspirations? That is easier said than done.
They're holding vastly different hands. The Warriors have up to 4 first-round picks they can trade. They've got pretty much their whole portfolio. But they've also got 3 star players in their mid to late 30s.
And they already gave up a first, right? They
don't have a pick tonight.
Trade. They don't have a pick tonight.
Yeah,
right.
But they have their picks going forward.
Yeah.
The Lakers, their sort of franchise player is in his 20s with Luka. But they don't have the same portfolio of picks. They have like 1 pick and 1 swap that they can trade. Now, they do have some expiring salary. But the Warriors are under more pressure to do something now, whereas I think the Lakers, in theory, could take a little bit more time. Now, LeBron doesn't want that. LeBron wants them to make a play now. And by the way, that seems to be their intention. They have made that clear. And the one thing that they've got is August 2nd, they have to offer Luka a contract.
4 years, $229 million.
He doesn't have to
That's
take
what
it
he
all.
said. He doesn't have to take it. That's what he's eligible for.
What do you think he's going to do?
Take it.
Yeah, I think he's
going to take some version of it.
It's going to take 3 years.
Listen, here's my deal. Here's my deal.
I think it'll be a little lower.
Yeah, hold on, Keith. Here's the deal. So if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, right, you need a big. You just need a big. We know this, okay? I got to think about it. The Mark Williams trade didn't pan out. Obviously, they were willing to trade Dalton Connect, and that didn't work out. What have you? Failed his physical, supposedly. So, ironically, they don't have a first-round pick tonight. They have the number 55 second-round pick.
Their pick tonight,
we'll leave that alone.
Is in Atlanta for Anthony Davis. Tonight, the Anthony Davis trade finally gets paid
There we go, right? So now here you have it. You've got the Al Horfords of the world, the Lou Cornettes of the world. They're not the only team that need a big, but they desperately need a big. Here's what I would tell you. You got to watch out for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's why the Lakers would be my answer to this question instead of the Warriors. Dallas is not going away. They're coming. You do not want to be in a situation where you acquired Luka Doncic and Dallas looks better than you. That's a motivation. That's a motivation right there. You can't have that Dallas flourishing and the Lakers going home in the first round when you made that move. Now, I understand for business purposes, okay, Luka's going to sell. And you got a new billionaire owner. He purchased the franchise for $10.1 billion, okay? I got that part. I get all of it. But in the end, just like we said about Dallas, Luka can't be thriving, but Dallas home watching them. They'll want to do some harm to some people, Nico included, okay? That can't happen. And it's in reverse, too. If you Luka with the Lakers, you don't want to be home, but Dallas is ascending.
You can't hold that part against.
No, what I'm saying to you is that if you're the Lakers,
No, I
with
get
Luka
it, but I'm saying
Doncic, you don't want that.
Some things landed their way.
As the famous meme goes, we don't care.
Okay, you got to do something. I mean, if somebody trades for you, okay, and they say you can leave, and they're thriving without you, and you're not thriving where you are, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. You got to make sure that don't happen.
Who's most likely to make the finals next season? Is it KD, LeBron, or Steph?
No, you're going to say something about me playing for the Lakers last year, but the Lakers are in better position because of the familiarity they have around LeBron, right? Obviously, they have to get a big or in the guard, but you don't have to change much, right? When you look at Houston implementing Kevin Durant, other than that starting five and Steven Adams coming off the bench, you have a bunch of guys that you really don't know what you're going to get. That's going to be a big-time role player up and coming future, right? They still have some guys that has to grow. So when you look at it that way, as in today, I would say the Lakers are more in prime position to be able to get a title.
The Lakers, interesting.
My answer is Houston today. Today doesn't matter because they're not playing tomorrow. So my answer today is Houston, and that's why Durant was so excited to get there. That's why he forced himself there, because he loved the fit there. That's why he was so happy when he got that. The Lakers, however, they have assets that they can make a move. They did already make a move for a center, and then they rescinded the trade, so we know that they can do it. And the second thing is let's see what Luka looks like this summer. There is all kinds of stories coming out from Europe that Luka has dedicated himself this summer, and he is going to be, I believe his plan is to play for Slovenia at the European Championships. And so we're going to see, Molly, what Luka looks like. We could see Luka, a whole different Luka, play for Slovenia this summer, and we could see the moves that the Lakers make, and I could be on Markeith's side. So I'm gonna wait and see, but today my answer is Durant.
I'm gonna go with
Kirk was here, that answer wouldn't pass.
I'm gonna go with Houston and Durant, and I don't see how on earth Keith is in a position to refute it, considering how much he has raved about the greatness of Kevin Durant. I mean, is he that great or is he not?
Yeah, but
yes,
that's one player. That's one player.
Hold on. I'm coming to you. Well, so is Luka. That's one player.
Yeah,
now he's got LeBron, but no depth. And when you look at the Houston Rockets, who were the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, by the way, last year, you look at Thompson, you know this brother's going to be special. You've seen him up close and personal. You know how special this brother's going to be. Şengün is no scrub. Okay, you kept Van Vliet. Jabari Smith averaged 12 a game. Okay, you still got Easton. You got Steven Adams. I'm looking at, you could go 7 deep.
Reed Shepherd.
You can go, Shepherd. You can go 7, 8 deep with Houston right now.
But you made my point. You don't know what these guys are going to do. He just, Wendy just said he didn't know what Luka was going to look like. You telling me that you know the production that Tyrone Easton and Reed Shepherd is going to bring to a team like this?
Because they're role players. What they lacked was a star, a bona fide star.
But they didn't even play that.
They no longer have that.
Reed Shepherd didn't play last year.
Excuse me? I'm sorry.
Reed Shepherd didn't play last year.
Fair enough. But Easton did. Adams did.
But Ty Easton will be coming into his
Van
own.
Vliet did. Şengün did. I'm looking at the rest of them.
But they all starting 5.
With KD.
It's a starting 5, like I said.
It's
a starting 5.
I feel like you're right, but Keith wins it based on intensity and delivery he just gave in that.
Right.
All right, sure do. Tomorrow night is the NBA draft with Cooper Flagg all but guaranteed to be selected first overall by the Dallas Mavericks. After that, anything goes, and we are excited to find out. Wendy, what is the biggest storyline heading into the draft?
Yeah, so Cooper Flagg's going to go 1. Dylan Harper is going to go number 2 to San Antonio. Then the draft really starts. What Philly decides to do at 3 is going to have a cascading series of effects. Ace Bailey is going to be the biggest name. He's obviously, it seems like he's trying to gear himself to a team. We're not really sure. Will a team take him, maybe like the Utah Jazz? It hasn't worked him out. Watch New Orleans at 7. They have traded for an extra pick in this draft as they try to look at moving up. And Toronto at 9. Toronto has offered the number 9 pick a couple of different places around. So a lot of potential surprises and unknowns in the top 10 tomorrow night.
Go ahead, Keith.
I would say it would be the movement of how it looked with teams trying to get assets to maybe jump into the lottery to get picks, or just maybe move those picks and make those teams better. After like I would say like the 10th or 11th pick in this draft, or maybe the lottery. It's a lot of unknown when it comes to the players. So I would say just the things that's happening around the draft that's happening behind closed doors.
I completely agree with you, and obviously we all know Cooper Flag is going number 1. I'm going to be real interested in seeing what happens from the 3rd pick on. I just have a fascination with one dude, and I mean, this kid Jeremiah Fears out of Oklahoma.
He's moving up.
Let me tell y'all something. Are you ready for this? Kyrie Irving.
The Warriors' relative restraint during the 2025 NBA draft that ended Thursday night provided sufficient evidence that they, as much as the Warriors love their player development staff, they're prioritizing next season above those that will follow. It's a logical approach for a team whose best players, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, are well into their mid-30s. We've got 3 players in their 30s that are really good, and that's the hand we're playing. It's certainly admirable what the Pacers and the Thunder and some of these other teams have done in the league, but we have our group. We're committed to that, and we've got to build with it and around it, and that's kind of what we'll do. We add these draft picks into the roster, however we do it. But I think we'll be looking to shift of roster the most in free agency, more so than the draft. The Warriors began the draft holding only the number 41st overall pick. They traded down to number 52 and 59 on Thursday afternoon in a deal with the Phoenix Suns. Golden State chose forward Alex Toohey at 52, and shortly thereafter swapped the number 59 pick to the Memphis Grizzlies for the number 56 pick, with which it selected shooting guard Will Richard from the University of Florida. Both Toohey and Richard will compete for roster spots, Dunleavy said, while acknowledging they likely will spend time in the G League. Toohey, who turned 21 last month, spent the past 2 seasons with the Sydney Kings of Australia's National Basketball League. In 30 games last season, he averaged 10.5 points, 3.9 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.5 steals, 22.9 minutes per game. He committed to play college basketball at Gonzaga in 2023 before opting for the NBL. At 6'8", 220 pounds, he's a tweener forward. Too slow to be a prototype small forward, too small to be a prototype power forward. The Warriors are at their best when coach Steve Kerr can lean into a roster with players that have great spatial movement awareness, a feel for the game. And Toohey, by all accounts, has that. Toohey scored 87 on the NBA Draft.net scale and was number 55 on its big board of draft-eligible players. After starting at Belmont as a freshman, the 6'5", 205-pound shooting guard transferred to the powerhouse Florida program, and, as a sophomore, became an immediate starter for the Gators. He played 141 college games with 135 starts over 4 seasons. Though backcourt teammate Walter Clayton Jr. garnered most of the attention in Florida's triumphant run to the 2025 National Championship, Richard acquitted himself quite well, especially in the title game. He scored 18 points on 4 of 4 shooting from deep as the Gators came back to defeat the Houston Cougars. Richard's profile was not listed on the NBA Draft.net site, but the NBA.com site compares his attributes to those of Malik Beasley and Alex Caruso